Hanson. I believe you were signed up to give the inspiration today. Patty there on Zoom.
Did I have the inspiration?
I think so. That's what my notes said, but if you don't, and somebody else has one.
Thank you.
Anyone have an inspiration quick at hand? Beth's got one. Oh, that's nice. You know, I did see that there's somebody's trying to make today Hug Day. Give everybody a hug. I'm sorry, those of you on Zoom can't enjoy the podcast in person. We should have had the. Oh, yeah. All right, thank you for that unique inspiration, Patty. There's fun here in the room. Okay, so we're going to get to visitors and guests. I know we have one. This is really a hot night today. We have one visiting Rotarian here, Nelson Naylor from the Grants Pass Rotary Club. Hello. I'm going to pop the mic off so that we can introduce other guests in the room.
Hi there, this is my new friend Donna Chickering. We met at a Steve Rowe poverty simulation meeting. Usually I say stimulation. It was a stimulating event, I'll tell you, very eye-opening. Anyway, we're hoping that Donna will want to join us. She's testing the waters. So hugging is a good way to start.
Raise your hand if you were in full with the hug. There's like Steve here and maybe just the three of us. There's like 6 of us who all went through a leadership program with Donna. She is any other. Okay. I don't see any guests online. We have one more person to introduce. We've met her before, but today we are, excuse me, inducting her as a new member. So if Beth wants to come up.
Okay, I'll talk about her and she can come up.
Yeah. Beth's gonna come up and introduce.
And Tommy will give her her new member.
Her.
And then we'll do announcements afterwards.
Okay, Susan Bonison is our new member today. And so I put it in the navigator a little bit about Susan, but I'm going to read it too, for those that don't open up the navigator. First off, Susan is a big San Francisco Giants fan. She became a fan when she was about 6 years old, and she watched and listened to the radio with her dad and granddad. Susan and her husband Brian own and run an antique store named Spit and Polish. This year, Spit and Polish has been in business for 50 years. 35 years ago, Susan and Brian became partners in marriage and business. They came from Central California in 2005. Their home and business is in Williams. Brian has always been an antique restorer and seller. Susan was a professional picture framer for 20 years before marrying Brian. Susan's parents were antique dealers and they knew Brian before Susan knew Brian. Susan has a cool Instagram site called Spit and Polish. Well, you go spit _N_polish_Williams, Oregon. And she always has brochures readily available in the park. Suzanne Levine, the Walkers, and Jan Jones, especially Jan, have been inviting Susan and talking about all the good the club does for years, so Susan finally decided to join. Susan visited several times, and at the very first meeting, the members were so engaged and asked lots of questions of the presenter, and she liked the experience at all of the meetings she has been to. She wants to be of service to the community, and that is why she is here.
So Susan, if you'd like to come up. I've got that. So we have in here your lovely new member packet, which includes a certificate of membership, membership directory with some photos, so you can start getting to know folks that you may not have met yet, and a whole bunch of other fun information, as well as your red badge and a checklist for how to turn that into a blue badge.
Now we'll take.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you. Welcome to the club. Okay, now we'll do announcements. I know Bev has an announcement and so does Kelly. And if anybody else does, just come on up to the mic or raise your hand if you're on Zoom.
My announcement is about I was yelling before, wasn't I? My announcement is about tonight's fellowship. It is at 5:30 at Patty Hanson's house. And I don't know if anybody needs the address, but it's 626 Road Bridge Drive. And we will have cups and plates and napkins and all that good stuff. And she wanted me to let you know, oh, she could have actually done this, but she wanted me to remind you that the yard is in the shade in the afternoon. We will have misters up and a nice bucket of sprayers with cold water and of course the pool. So bring your swimsuits if you want. I don't know, Patty probably would like us to bring chair, maybe extra chairs too. Sure, lawn chairs.
Oh, yeah, we're at, absolutely. Okay, so I have this clipboard. And I'm gonna be coming around to every table. What has happened is we have felt, the committee, we're the ones that pick the programs. And we call ourselves the administrative committee. We're actually just always finding places to meet that has wine. Anyway, we decided that we would take over Sergeant at Arms, pledge, four-way test, and inspiration signups. Because the clipboard seems the easiest way to get this filled out and then deliver it to Steve, who's gonna then put it in the navigator, right, Steve? Uh-huh. And so also, I've included a pen here and I'm gonna be coming around every table. I've also got some Post-its here, so you will, when you sign up, not if, when you sign up, you will then give yourself a reminder, okay? Just wanted to let you know that I will be buzzing around. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. Any other announcements, Lena? Okay. All right. Well, today I'm actually presenting the program because it is, as you well know, the last day of the Rotary year. And so the last meeting, I thought we would do a little annual year in review. So if Bayla can pull up the slide presentation, I put together some photos to look back on the year. And yeah. Does anybody else have a hard time believing it's sort of the end of June?
Yeah.
Where did this one go? Okay. We're gonna see if the clicker works and I can advance the slides here. Oh, it did. Okay, so if you remember this year, RI President Jennifer Jones set the theme as Imagine Rotary. And in the speech she gave about her theme and why she chose it, she kind of called out 3 points that I sort of took note of and thought we would try to focus on this year. And so I thought as we do the review, we can look at it kind of through the lens of that, of those three things. And so they were, let me go on this side. Adapt and retool, care and comfort of members as something really important to try to engage and keep up with our members and engage them. And then meaningful engagement. How do our members have ways to be meaningfully engaged in the work that our club does and find something that really speaks to them and makes them excited to be part of the club? So those were sort of the three things that as we started the year, I wanted to try to focus on. Whoops, wrong direction. So, do you guys remember this is what our meetings looked like for the first 2 months of the year? I can't believe that we were, it feels like we've been in person for so long. But this is what our meetings were like for July and August. We were still fully on Zoom. We did not have an in-person meeting location yet. And then we adapted and retooled and we came back and we're hybrid now. So this is something that was new for our club, right? We were all in person and then we were all in Zoom. And now we've retooled to be hybrid where we're partly on Zoom and partly in person. And we've got our sound system finally retooled. So that the folks on Zoom can hear us. So I think we've done a pretty good job of adapting and retooling this year. Yes. Round of applause for Bela and the whole Doug Walker and all of the tech crew that have helped with all of this. So then when we think about care and comfort of our members, and we talk about our members, first I want to point out that we have 9 new members, counting Susan today. 9 new members joined our club this year. This is awesome. Thank you. Apologies for the fact that we don't have pictures of Judy and Donna and Susan yet. Well, we will have one of Susan now, but here are some of the folks who joined our club. And I think most all of them have just jumped right in and gotten involved in projects, and we've gotten to know them really well. So it's been great to have new members join us. And then I thought some of the ways that we kind of care and provide comfort for one another. One of the things we do really well in this club, I think, is recognize one another. And so if you remember at the beginning of the year, the club members raised money to make a contribution to the Oregon Youth Authority in honor of Steve Rowe and John Jones, because they've both been through something traumatic and they're trying to turn something positive, make a positive out of a negative. And since John and Steve give so much back to the community, especially through OYA. We made a donation to provide some soccer balls and cues and stuff so that the guys out there could form a soccer team and play. And then, of course, this isn't Rotary specific necessarily, but many people in this club are part of the 4-Way Foundation. And of course, we were all thrilled and excited to support Brenda when she was recognized by the 4-Way Foundation this year with the, I always get this name wrong, the Spirit of Service Award? No. Louis Schultz. Distinguished Service. Thank you. I always get that one wrong. Distinguished Service Award. So Brenda got that this year and we were really excited to be able to support her. There's a lot of other ways that we show care and comfort for our, club members too. I know several club members have been through some difficult losses this year, some medical challenges, and we all kind of team up together and are there to support one another and provide meal trains and chauffeurs and all kinds of stuff. So we're doing a great job of comfort and care. Another way we do that is through fellowship. And so I went through some of the photos from the different social activities we've had. And if this isn't care and comfort of members, I don't know what would be. We have so much fun. And we're going to have another one tonight. I hope to see everybody there. So then the next piece, the third piece, was meaningful engagement. And I went through, and I didn't do it for all of our service projects. We can talk about some of the other ones later, but there are some that are kind of have particular meaning for specific members, and I can find ways to kind of get engaged in a way that's really meaningful for them. And so for Lisa Looney, she really loves organizing the Student Service Above Self Awards every year. And so we recognize 7 students throughout the school year, 1 from each of the high schools in our area. And she coordinates with the schools to identify the kids and get them scheduled and get all of the materials to them. And we've got a whole team who, collects donations, and we put together a little gift bag for these students. And it's a really great program. It's really nice to see the students when they come to us and speak to us and can tell us what their plans are. And so it's really fun for the club, but it's a way for members like Lisa to get engaged in a meaningful way too. So these were our 7 student service above self award winners this year. Yeah. And then the backpack project, of course, Jody loves taking this project on, and it, of course, takes a much larger crew of folks to pull it off. But Jody always coordinates this every year, and I think we did 216 backpacks, if I'm not mistaken, this year, that we packed full of food and hats and gloves and socks and books and toothbrushes and all kinds of stuff. And I think I counted at least 25 club members, and we had additional volunteers there that night to stuff all of these backpacks in record time, and then get them delivered out to all of the elementary schools. So another example of meaningful engagement. And then Jamie always loves organizing Operation Joy, passion of hers. And so we get club members to fill out Christmas cards for folks who are living in nursing homes in the area and may or may not have family nearby who are going to be visiting them or sending them cards. And that's always fun. So we spend a bunch of time filling out these cards and getting them sent off. And that's another great way to be engaged. Nice, guys. And then there's a bunch of ways we support other nonprofits in the organization. Of course, Jan and Cindy. I pulled all of these off Facebook, so they're not new photos. But Jan and Cindy are two members, and I know we have other members who are very much involved in the WCST clothing fair and organizing that. And then Kate Dwyer is the executive director of the 4-Way Foundation, and was here to present the check for nonprofits, which many of our club members are involved in. So another way to kind of get engaged in our club is to be able to partner the work we do in Rotary with the other organizations we love so much in the community. Then we have lots of ways that we interact with the youth, and that's something that's been particularly meaningful for Delynn Sharpen, I know. And so she's been really active in coordinating the Interact Club out at North Valley High School. And 2 other projects that we do with the students out there are RILA and the 4-Way Speech Contest. So RILA is our Rotary Youth Leadership Award, and we sponsor 2 students from 2 sophomores, high school sophomores each year, to attend RILA Camp, which is a leadership camp. And I think probably coming up at the end of this month, or maybe it just happened. It just happened. So we just sent 2 kids there. These are the 2 students we sent the previous year with Tiffany Mackey, who's one of our honorary club members as well. And then we do the 4-Way Speech Contest, which is an opportunity for students to write and deliver a speech based on the 4-Way test that we recited earlier. And not only do we host the contest for our club members, so we invite students from North Valley High School to compete, but we also have been hosting the area contest where the winners from all 4 clubs in the Josephine County come to compete to go on to districts. And so these were the 2 students who competed in the area contest. And of course, I'm not going to remember her name, unfortunately. I think Lane Myers, maybe. Don't quote me on that. But she was the one we sent off to districts. Highway cleanup is another fun, engaging way. I know Josie pulled this one together. Although I noticed she didn't make it into any of the photos that were posted on Facebook, but we had a whole crew out there cleaning up the parkway, and then of course Doug and Patty entertaining us at the Trashy Awards every year. It was funny as I was going through the year in review. If you're not aware, Steve takes all of the Zoom recordings and posts them to YouTube. We have a Road Gateway Rotary Club channel on YouTube, and all of the Zooms get posted there. So if you missed a meeting, or you want to watch it again, or you want to send a link to somebody else to see, you can always go there. And so I was going back through, and I missed this day, but I got to watch the video, and it was kind of fun. Doug was eating a hamburger. And then, of course, boy, our clubs favorite project right now, right? And such a wonderful way for us to give back and have meaningful engagement. And I think almost every member of our club is involved in this event in one way or another, whether it's setting, organizing things from the very beginning, doing the work to get the sponsorships, folding and stapling the programs, organizing the bands, to actually showing up on the day of and walking around selling raffle tickets and making sure everybody's happy. It's just such an incredible event. And somebody's gonna have to remind me, how much money did we raise this year? It was a lot of money. $42,000. $42,000, yeah,
Excuse me from
sounds-
Zoom land.
that was right. And look
Can
at
you
all
hear
the
me?
happy people in their porch vest and shirts.
Gina
It's just-
Marie,
Oh,
coming from Zoom land, we cannot see the photos. We're stuck on the opening slide.
oh
It's
no,
not sharing.
they're not advancing?
Maybe reshare. Thanks.
Reshare. Thank you, Sally. Sorry about that. We're gonna stop the share and reshare. Can you see the porch fest photos now?
Yes, thank you so much.
All right.
Much
you're
better.
welcome. Sorry about that. No, I'm not sure how much is left, unfortunately. We might have fixed it just in time. Yeah, we will send out the slides. Now I can't advance it. Yep, that was all of the photos. Thank you. Great. I did want to share a couple other things too, some other pieces that, kind of achievements for our year. We set targets every year for how much money we hope to have our club collectively raise for the Rotary Foundation, both for our annual fund and for Polio Plus. And so this year we set a goal of $10,000 for the annual fund and $5,000 for the Polio Plus fund, and we exceeded both goals. So thank you to all of you. I do not have word yet if we have met our every Rotarian every year. I think we were just a little bit shy of it this year. But we still, I think, have a couple of donations coming in. So the exact total isn't set yet, but we will share that once it is there. I have every expectation that we will meet the goal for the Rotary citation again. So every year, the Rotary International president sets out sort of a checklist or a challenge of sorts to each club to achieve a certain number of goals. And they're all with the intent of providing ways that are effective tools and techniques to have a really vital, engaging club. And so if you can accomplish, a good number of those things, then they recognize you with a Rotary citation. And I think this year it was basically just based on goals that the president set coming in at the start of the year, and how many of those did you achieve? And we have met pretty much all of them. I think there's maybe just one that we were a little bit shy on, so we should be able to get that Rotary citation again this year. So again, all thanks to you and the amazing work that you guys do every day in this club. And it's just been an honor and a privilege to serve again as president. I've had a lot of fun. This is just really an amazing club, and it was especially notable this year for me because it was pretty busy for me for most of the year. I have been aware or remember that I was in grad school for part of it and running an election campaign for part of it. And so I didn't always feel on top of things and as well, and performing in the way that I had intended to, but it didn't matter because it's not about the president and what we do from this position. We just kind of coordinate and run the meetings each week, but it's all of you guys putting in all of the work to coordinate, organize, and implement and do all of the great work that we do in this club. And so thank you all for that. I really appreciate it. And I kind of kept it short intentionally, partly because, but also so that we'd have plenty of time for lots of happy bucks and Sergeant at Arms, because I know we've had a few meetings that have gone really long and we haven't had anything ready for that. So I want to ask Kelly to come up, who's gonna pinch hit for us in Sergeant at Arms. Yeah, you want to come up and we'll do happy bucks and we can take the mic on the road with us again.
All right, so, I really didn't get around everybody. I only hit like 1, 2, 3 tables and we filled it. So Steve will be getting that. So I like to think of, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. What was it she called herself? I don't want to call myself a nasty woman, but kind of a pushy broad, right? Got it done. So, anyway, moving on to happy bucks, which we have lots to be happy about. I thought I'd give you a couple of thoughts, though, about the month of June, because it's about God. And, one of them, so I picked some favorite authors. The first one, Bernard Williams. If a June night could talk, it would probably boast that it invented romance. I thought that was a good one. The second one, John Steinbeck, one of my very favorite authors. In early June, the world of leaf and blade and flowers explodes, and every sunset is different. Yeah, Maud Lovelace is this next one, who I wasn't familiar with, and she's not related to Val as far as I know. But I love this. It was June and the world smelled of roses. The sunshine was like powdered gold over the grassy hillside. How do you not like that? That's June. Then we have Henry David Thoreau. There are 2 seasons when the leaves are in their glory. They're green and perfect youth in June, and the ripe old age in October. Isn't that perfect? But I'm leaving you with Edgar Allan Poe as my last one. At midnight in the month of June, I stand beneath a mystic moon. Isn't that beautiful? Happy bucks. Sad bucks. Happy bucks coming over to you.
Well, I have a combination happy sad. My oldest grandchild just got her driver's license last week, and so I'm very happy for her. And I'm also sad because all last year I drove her to school. Well, she drove and I was her passenger while she was learning to drive. And that was a really wonderful time to be alone with her, and now it's over. But anyway, happy sad.
It's better than, and she already had a fender bender. Any other happy bucks? Okay. Not yet.
All right, I have 20 happy bucks, smattering of things, some fun things that we've been doing as far as travel, music concerts, going up to Priest Lake, and all in the month of June. The ending of the 2nd grade reading school year and watching those little darlings that I've been reading with since January. Some of them started out and really stumbled and were really nervous about reading to me. And at the end of the year, one of the little boys had parts in 3 different of the mini plays that they were doing. And he was so proud of himself. And afterwards, he came to the back of the room and he went in front. Oh, sorry. Without my hand. He came to the back of the room and he just gave me a big hug. And like, then I'm thinking, uh-oh, are we supposed to be hugging these kids? I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And finally, it's grandkids, and Olin is on a traveling soccer team house. The baseball player decided he's taking the summer off because he's going to be 15 and he'd like to do other things. Go figure. Our granddaughters, Michigan State, one of them graduated in May, and she found out yesterday she now has housing in New York because she's going to Columbia in September. And that was the biggest fear, is where am I going to live? So life is good.
Some of you may know my sister Camille Manger, and we had a celebration of life for her son on Saturday. He died a couple of months ago in an avalanche in Bend.
And it was just so fulfilling to have so many people present to celebrate and love her up especially. And then on the other side, the Growing Together Center, which is one of the recipients of some of our Porch Fest money, that new center that just started in November. And so we're gradually increasing our programming. I teach a class there, and we're going to use the money that y'all gave us for a music program for the little children. So thank you all so much.
I have proud happy bucks. We all know about Chris Walker being an intern back in Washington DC. He's kid number 2 that has come through my life that's an intern. I've got 3 more that are going to be interned in the very near future, which tells me that I'm doing the right thing. These kids are out there making the changes that we have been hoping they would make. So I'm very, very proud and happy.
Well, I have a couple of happy bucks. Jerry and I celebrated our 28th anniversary, which I gotta tell you, 30 years ago was really touch and go. My nephew and his family just moved here from Carson City, Nevada. So I have a brand new 16-year-old great niece who just got a car. Big ship. Yay. I'm very happy that they're here. Looking forward to having family close. Thank you. Other than this family, I love this family.
Any other? Thank you, ma'am. I have a happy anniversary, or happy anniversary dollar, because yesterday was Malcolm's and we figured it out. 42 years. I know it's something goes out.
Great. All right, coming to Dawn.
So sad and happy, $5. Gina Marie, you're passing the baton and we love you, and that's sad. Happy, Jim, that you're coming on and catching the baton. And I know you're running fast.
I'm going to start a new category today called nervous fuck. That's my 5 happy bucks for what's going to happen. Well, next week, first meeting in prison.
I have happy bucks first for Gina Marie, because you talked about care and comfort. And I thank you for making a priority the socials that we have, because I've really enjoyed those. So that's what I want to say, because I really enjoyed the stuff and hanging out with you guys. And also just proud of Chris too. I get to talk to him, and he's having so much fun in Washington DC. He's starstruck with all the politicians he gets to see. I couldn't understand it, but there you go.
I have a happy $5 for the 4th of July. It's coming up. It's the anniversary of our country's birth. And I just want to wish, with all its warts and wonderfulness, happy anniversary to our country. Well, I have a happy buck because our boat has been in the shop for 7 months, and we finally got it back. And we took it to Lake Silmac to test out, and all 3 motors worked. And we took our granddaughter, and she caught her first fish, a bluegill. Wow. What did she get through here? Where? Somewhere? They had bluegill? Okay.
So I'm glad to be here today. Had an adventure some week. It was started out last Thursday, I guess, going to Springfield, Illinois. And to see the Lincoln Museum. I'm a big fan of President Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln. And it was just a great visit. And we started out by flying there and then took a train from Chicago to Springfield. And then coming back, we were actually supposed to be back on Sunday. There was a little travel snafu with the Denver airport. And we got back last night. It was unbelievable. And have a new appreciation for the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Automobiles was not supposed to be part of it, sure, but we needed to get to home, and so finally just gave up with Medford, went to San Francisco, and bought a car down there, rental car place, and drove it home last night. And one of the things I can put this on Facebook, it's kind of an embarrassing thing, but one of the things on the first night we were there, 3 nights there, I got a hotel room. And the hotel van was one of the 15 passenger vans. And when we got in, there was this line of people, and that van just took off. All the people was full. So we waited, Christy and I waited. The van comes back the next time, and there's just this onslaught of people. And so I put my luggage to the van in the back, and the driver says, "Why don't you hop in the back?" And so we hopped in the luggage. There were 4 guys with the luggage in the back of the van. But you know, the luggage on the way back is very dark. It was about midnight. And the luggage was shifting and everything. And I was sitting on top of the luggage. And so I was trying to find to fold something onto it. And I grabbed onto what I thought was a post. So it was a guy's leg. It was whoops, you know. He got off the bed, he was just roaring and laughing. It was the whole experience of everything. But the next, we at a hotel, the next 2 nights, we slept on a cot at the Denver airport. And there were literally hundreds of people said they had these brand new cots that they had never used before, and they had them in a warehouse. And United just brought those things up by the pallet load. And I got pretty good at, you know, you feel bad for people because there was a lot of people traveling, you know, elderly people, for example, and, you know, put the cot together. So I got really good at fast, you know, and some people was, you know, a mother with their 3 kids, you know, and you think of all the travel hassle of, you know, these situations. And it was, you know, the bright lights, the airport was still on during the night. And it was just one of those memorable events. We tried so many times. I have 8 boarding passes. And every one of them, I'm not buying a lot of tickets. That's good to be on.
Question, what caused the big snafu in the Denver airport? Why couldn't people get out?
The staff was really because of the weather, the fires from Canada down in a lot of crew shortages. A lot of people traveling right now. It was a perfect storm, and I felt so bad for the United workers. United Airlines workers were there, and you know what? You know, you think about it. And they said, you know, when you're here, we're here because over these 4 days, I ran into many of them on a first day basis, and they were there, and they said it's mandatory overtime for them, and they have no. And she says we suffer just as long like you do. But I was also the next spot during that whole time. I only saw one guy, and he had too much to drink. And so that's my excuse for him. It was really belligerent, but every single person, there was so much good humanity there in the airport when things were so bad. And I think we had the record for being there 4 days. And I just one lady, she says, I feel so bad. She says, here's $2,000 in travel vouchers for you for United Airlines, you know, without even saying a word. But there were so many things that happened that were good in that day. Those at the terminal, you know, people helping each other out. And I ran across a military, and he was traveling home because of his family. And we met these people who were sleeping in cots there, and you heard their stories. And so there was a lot of good that came on that too.
Wow. Wow.
I have 5 happy bucks just for getting to hear Steve's luggage.
Wait a minute. Luggage. What happened to your luggage?
We don't check.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
All right.
That's a good thing. Okay, Gina Marie, back to you. Except you might want to check up here.
Anybody on Zoom want to share any happy bucks? Not seeing any hands. Well, I'm gonna share 25 happy bucks, and just as a reminder for anybody who doesn't remember, the little cards in the baskets have QR codes, so you can make your donation by PayPal if you don't bring cash and you forget that you promised to make a donation. So I just did that before I forgot. So I'm gave $25 because it's been a great year, and I am really, really grateful to be a member of this club. And I'm also grateful that I'm gonna have a little bit of a summer without any obligation, well, not no obligations, but no real big commitments, and I'm planning on keeping it that way for a couple months. I'm actually, the one thing I did schedule was with my dad. So some of you knew, I used to do a jewelry metalsmithing class with my dad at an RCC for like 15 years or something, very long time. And we went every week. And then COVID happened and the classes stopped and we stopped doing them. My dad still makes jewelry and he's got a whole studio set up in his garage. But I haven't done anything for 3 or 4 years now. And so I chatted with him the other day and I said, could we just, if we used to go once a week, can I just come over once a week and we can do jewelry in your studio and you can teach me how to set stones and things like that? So next week, I'm gonna have my first jewelry making session with my dad, so I'm excited. Oh, Lisa. Hello, Lisa.
Yes, I wanted to say that I really appreciated all of this year, everybody's help. I hope you can hear me. And I have 20 happy bucks for the wonderful year that we had and the Student Service Above Self Award.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, so last couple of reminders, next week it is Jim's year. We're gonna pass the gavel over to Jim. And he's, I think, going to be giving us a vocational, so we get to learn a little bit more about him and what he's got planned for the year. So that'll be exciting. Don't forget, again, tonight is the social at Patty Hansen's house. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I hope to see a lot of you there. All right, you don't have to bring a chair, but do bring some food and some drinks and your lovely selves. 5:30, right? 5:30. Okay, so thought of the day, but my last thought of the day. Year's end is neither an end nor a beginning, but a going on with all the wisdom that experience can instill in us. That's a quote from Hal Borland. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, that's good to know that that's there, because I mean, I don't know who would like to use it, because that's always the big challenge with these